guys. Welcome back to Sad Dad. My name's Dave Abkarian. I am a comedian out of Fresno, California, and this is a podcast where I sit down with my fellow funny friends, my fellow comedians, and we talk about dads. Hi, how are you guys? You guys would never be able to know this, but I have a new microphone stand that I really like. I got two of them. They're like this cool cantilever design that like hooks onto the side of the table. So like I can, before I was using these mic stands that were like, what do you call them? They were mic stands. They were like small mic stands, but they were kind of like top heavy and sometimes they'd fall over. This is great. I can actually like reach my laptop while the microphone is in front of me. That's neat. Can you hear this? Oh, maybe. Sometimes when the guests would like pound the table, they'd be making a point. They'd be like pounding the table. And with those old mic stands, you could really hear it. I think you guys could probably hear that. Well, it sounds loud. Anyway. All right. But anyway, it's cool. I like it. Looks a little more professional too, which is neat. I guess. I mean, it's still my kitchen. As professional as a studio can look in a kitchen. I guess it's not really. It's like a dining area. My kitchen's right here, though. Watch, I can hit my kitchen. Do you hear that? From a sitting position, I can hit my kitchen. I'm just goofing off today. Oh, man. I got a fun episode for you today. I sat down with... she's one of my best friends in the whole wide universe, and her name is Tanya Salzer. And this is a fun episode of just Tanya and I we talk about dads, we talk about the stuff we're supposed to, but it's a lot of just Tanya and I riffing on whatever. Just it's really like a conversation her and I would be having outside a show or something. Yeah, so it was good. She came over and recorded with me, and then afterwards we went and got tacos. I got a swordfish taco, which was really good. I had no idea what to expect out of swordfish, and I really enjoyed it. It was good. Yeah, I liked it. Oh, and I got a new headphone amplifier. That's great. So my guests can use headphones again when they record with me. That's nice, huh? I'm just all over the place. I had some fun shows this week. I've been writing some new material. For stage and one bit I just wrote on stage. We did a clean comedy show on Sunday. It was a new show, and I can do. I don't have a ton of dick jokes that I do. I do a lot of like relationship stuff and, some self-deprecating type stuff, some silly stuff. But my material, I'm fortunate that my material clean. If I just take out a couple of swears, my material is clean material. And so, but still was you always get a little nervous before you go into a clean show. You don't know if you're going to accidentally drop the F-bomb or something. And made even worse, like the front row, there was like a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old just sitting there with their mom. Like, oh, geez. But that went really well. And I kind of needed to kind of buff my time a little bit. And I had this premise, this idea that I'd kind of been rolling around in my head. And so I just started riffing on it from stage and kind of turned into a fun bit that I've been working the last few days. And so, yeah, I mean, it's always exciting when you come up with new material and you like the old stuff, but you want to write new stuff. And I've got a couple of new bits right now. I'm really, really enjoying and liking where they're going, and they need to get better. But so, yeah. I'm real happy with how the shows went this weekend. We did a ton of them for Labor Day. We did a Friday show, or Labor Day weekend, I should say. We did a Friday show, a Saturday show, 2 shows on Sunday, and then our Monday show. So that's 5 shows in 4 days. And then we did a Tuesday show, if you want to count that. So, yeah, 6 shows in 5 days. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Either way, it was good. It was a fun weekend. Hung out with some cool comics, and And but in the midst of all of that, I found time to sit down with my dear friend, Tanya, and we recorded this. And like I said, ate some swordfish tacos afterwards, so it was fantastic. It's a very different episode I'm giving to you guys today. It's really, I don't know how to describe it. I mean, we get real dark at certain points, but it's all in good fun. I love Tanya. We do a little bit of mean girl stuff, but it's all about our friends, and all of it is stuff that we would say to their faces if given the chance. So, so I guess it gets a little bit gossipy if that's what you're into. I mean, it's all about people you don't know because they are just local. I mean, maybe you do know them. I don't know why I say that. But it was really fun. I had a ton of fun chatting with her, and her dad's a real interesting dude, and we have some revelations about our friendship and what our friendship really is. Her and I. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I will catch you on the other side of this thing. This is Tanya Salzer, everybody.
Oh, you're doing great. You're doing great. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I am doing good. Off.
Turn that off.
You have to turn the AC off.
Yeah, let me see here. Okay, I'm so tired.
Me too.
I'm so tired, Tanya.
It's real hungover. Both combination.
Yeah.
I don't think the strip club was our best idea, but it was an idea.
It was an idea, and it was my first time to a strip club.
I know. I feel honored to be part of that with you.
I played pool.
You did.
I did.
Yeah.
I mostly beat Eric Lampere, except I scratched on the 8 as I sunk the 8 ball. So maybe I'm not sure what the rule is on that.
I think you won. Here's the thing though, so while we were there, I remember getting there, and I remember standing outside. But I blacked out for the whole strip club, and I was I went in, I paid the money, and I didn't see any tips.
You paid for Heath too,
and I paid for Heath too. So that fucker owes me.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to buy my strip club entrance next time.
He's the saddest person to hang out with right now because he wants to hang out, and we want him to hang out, but he has so little money.
Yeah.
I think he lost his debit card somehow.
He lost his debit card.
He's bumming
and
cigarettes
because of the
off
holiday, he can't go into a bank.
Yeah. So that was fun. I saw some boobs. That was pretty neat.
I wish I remembered the boobs.
Oh my god.
The worst part is I totally forgot, and I was like, fuck. What was the whole point of coming here to see boobs that aren't mine?
Yeah. I forgot to tell you about this. It didn't involve you directly. I mean, you were there, but we walked in, and it was me, Jackson, and then that fedora guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
fedora guy.
And you and Eric, you and Eric are at the bar, I think, and but as we were standing there, one of the strippers walks over to us and
was this when she started to talk to you guys?
Yeah, and she's clearly she's making small talk. I assume to volunteer us to or see if we'll volunteer to pay for a lap dance or something.
Yeah.
But the thing was we immediately went in started treating her as another performer. And so,
oh my God.
we're how's your night?
Such a dick move on your part, though, to be look, we're also performers.
Well, it was.
I don't take off my clothes on a stage, but it's
it wasn't that. It was genuine interest. It was
okay.
She's oh, I just got off stage, and we're oh, that's awesome. How'd you do? How was your set? And
how was your set? Did they laugh at all?
No, we were she's oh, it didn't go well. And we're oh, yeah.
We've all been.
we all bomb all the time. It's okay, I mean, you learn. And this is clearly not what this girl is going for.
Yeah.
We're all trying to be empathetic as fellow performers. And this poor girl is just trying to make $20 on a lap dance. And then they dig in even further. They're so how long you been stripping? Where'd you get your start? Did you start in this scene? Or
I was
I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Did you start in the Fresno stripping scene? Where did you start?
And they just started talking to this poor stripper like she was another comedian, and she was not into it, and she couldn't. Like, you could just see on her face, like, she felt like she made the biggest mistake of her life. Like,
she wasted so much time.
Yeah, like, why did I pick these three doofuses to walk up to?
No.
So, yeah.
My favorite thing, so we were leaving, and we, like, called the Uber XL, right? And we get in, and it's the 6 of you and me.
Yeah, right.
And the guy's just looking at me, and he's like, "See you with all these dudes coming out of the strip club?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And he's like, "What are you guys going to go do?" And I was like, "Well, I know it looks like a weird gangbang, but they're all going to stay on my couch," which is so much worse.
To be, I mean, in all fairness, if that were the case, there were some handsome fellas with you.
I know, good for me.
Like you would be crushing it if that were the case.
I just love that his like first thought. He was like, "So what do you guys?
Yeah.
What are you guys up to?"
Immediately went to.
Yeah, and I was like, "Why can't we just all hang out at the strip club together like bros? Why can't we be weird like Wall Street executives together?"
Right, exactly. Like, what if you were our boss?
Yeah.
Well, that's even kinkier, I guess.
Yeah. Why can't your boss take you to the strip club?
Yeah.
Feminism.
Yeah, totally. So, that was fun. And then the show last night was, I don't know, how did you feel about the show last night? You can be honest, we're all friends here.
So, like, it was good. And the hard part is, like, sometimes I feel like when it's small like that, and then, like, especially since, like, most of it was, like, that one family.
Yeah.
Where, like, especially if I was with my parents, I probably wouldn't laugh at my jokes because, like, they mostly involve, like, cum. So I don't know if, like, if my parents were there, I'd be like, "Ha ha." I'd be like, I don't know what that joke's about.
Yeah. You were there I think it was last Saturday, right? Where,
No, I was out of town.
Oh, you were out of town all week last week. Yeah, there was absolutely a lady sitting next to her mom. Like, what? There was a moment, I was hosting that night, and there was a moment where I, like, look over, and I can clearly see in the front row is this lady sitting next to her mom as Heath is doing, I did that last night, too, when I was drunk.
Welcome to the stage, Keith.
Yeah, Keith.
Just set him up for his own joke.
Well, Heath is telling his ass-eating material.
No!
And I was like, when I got back up there, I was like, give this poor lady a round of applause for listening to that ass-eating joke while sitting next to her mom. And that's got to be the worst.
Well, and like, this is the thing, my parents really want to see one of the shows. And I was like, I have no idea how I'm going to like work that. I was like, 8 minutes of my material is like fully disgusting.
Don't even look at him. Like,
don't even look at him. My sister came to the show and she was like choking on her food as I'm like saying this joke, and she was like, "Oh my God, Tanya." And I was like, "It's a joke." But like, even I was like visiting my family, and I told them that they asked about like the joke I have about my dad, and I was like, "Oh, totally." I told them the joke, right? And I say pussy eating in the joke.
Yeah.
And sure enough, my uncle was like, "Wow." And I was like, "That's one of my cleaner jokes."
That's pretty tame.
I know. I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah, my parents
They'll never come to a show.
My parents are going to be at the show tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I won't do 5 minutes.
No, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying. You do whatever you do. You're fine.
Oh, no, I don't care that your parents, not mine.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine. But I've just found they've come and watched me perform a few times, and like the first time,
hard to like have your parents there. I feel like I'd eat a dick.
Yeah, the first time was really weird and hot. Like, and then the second time was a little bit better. I got like halfway through my set and I was just ignoring them, and then like midway through my set, I'm like, I remember there was like a point. I'm like, oh my God, that's my mom, and that's my dad, and they're watching me do comedy. And then like the rest of my set was just awful. Garbage. But then the third time, I was like, I'm just going to ignore them completely. And I had a great set. I just didn't even, like, acknowledge them. Because, like, the first couple of times, I was like, that's my mom over there. Like, hey, man. Yeah. Like, you know, like a big dumb idiot. And
draw attention to your mom.
Your sister's cool.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, I've had a ton of friends come out, and it, like, never bothers me when they're there. Because I'm like, whatever. They're my friends. They know who I am. They know what a garbage monster I am, right?
Yeah.
But my sister, she comes out, and, like, again, she's never heard any of my jokes before. And she comes in on the Saturday. Yeah. And I just had the filthiest set. And she sat in the front row. And she was so, like, shocked by some of the things I said that she didn't laugh. Yeah. And so afterwards, I was like, you goddamn bitch didn't even laugh at my jokes. And she was like, I didn't know what to say.
Oh, that's funny. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, she's got to meet you halfway. You know what I mean?
Seeing her like spit out her like eggplant was like my favorite part. So I told the joke I have about like, did Gabriel the bartender also give you chlamydia? And she just like spat her eggplant out. It was so funny to watch her face on that one. Yeah, and that's why my parents will never come to a show.
Yeah. You have a weird place in the origin of my doing stand-up.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time we met?
Yeah. I know. I feel so bad because you and I became friends when like Eli and I were still best friends.
Yeah.
And like we're still like really good friends, but it was one of those things we were so obnoxious together that I was like, I understand why we didn't have any other friends outside of each other. And I was like, I don't know how we became friends. Mostly because I was like, you knew me when I was friends with Eli. Yeah. And we were garbage together.
We met at Eli's birthday party. You remember that? At Strummer's?
Was that his birthday party?
I think it was his birthday party.
Was it a birthday party? Oh.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
I think it was Eli's. And then, but then like you and I got talking and then I was like thinking about doing comedy and you were like, oh, you should do it. Yeah. And I was like, and I don't remember what my reasoning was at the time, but you were very like encouraging of me doing it. And then I did it. And then it kind of like almost came like full circle where I was then urging you to do comedy.
You were like, you have to get up there. And I was like, no.
Yeah. I loved how you like circled the drain on it for so long. Yeah. Because like you were coming to every single one of the shows.
Yeah. And it was kind of one of those things I was like, I could be funnier than this. I am funnier than this. I was like, I can see open micers do it every single time. And I'm like, they're no good.
That's the best part of an open mic. Yeah. Like if you're ever thinking about doing comedy, like you're, I've talked about that with other guests where it starts off like, you're going to the open micers, you're watching the open micers, and then you're like, I'm way funnier than this. Yeah. I'm definitely going to do comedy. Yeah. And then you get up there and realize, oh, every open micer has thought that.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. And I'm so stupid competitive that, like, if my first set hadn't gone well, I would have just burned Chico's to the ground so that no one could have a good night.
But I was super glad when you started doing it. Yeah. You've taken to it like a duck to water.
Yeah. Thanks.
How far into it? When did you start?
April.
Wow.
So it's only been a couple months. Yeah.
Yeah. You're doing great.
Thanks. Yeah.
What is it about? Because you host one of the open mics. What is it you like most about hosting?
Oh my God, I love hosting because like it lets me be like the mean girl that like I am, where I'm like I get to say the worst thing about you and then bring you up on the stage with a smile.
Yeah. Is that you feel like that's like a real cathartic release for you?
Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Do you feel like you're taking it out on them?
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
It's totally.
This is the thing, like I can't like, especially with my job, right? I have like a very stressful job. And then at the end of the day, if I can just like release all that terrible onto like other people, like this is everything I've ever wanted. And have everyone laugh about it. And then here's the other thing is like, so I was talking about Liam once, like he works with me now and he's like, we should roast battle. And I was like, he was like, you're the only person I know that's mean enough to maybe be good in a roast battle. And I was like, fair enough. But I was like, the thing about hosting is no one ever comes for me because they're afraid of what I'll do to them. And I have more time. Right? But the problem is I was like, if they do that, I was like, if we roast battle, you have just like all access to like come back at me. And I was like, I don't want to do that. No, this can only be a one-sided thing. I want to be the mean girl.
Right. I don't know. I mean, we could set up a roast battle.
No, I don't want to do it. No, Liam wants to do it. I don't want to do it.
I mean, Liam uses it as a weird crutch, though. Yeah. Like, he's so funny and his material is so funny.
He's so funny.
But anytime he's getting insecure about himself, he just has to make fun of me. Like if he's...
Well, okay. To be fair.
I mean... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Like, half of my comedy is like name dropping people in a mean way. So I totally get it.
Sure.
If you want to like turn the attention away from you.
Yeah.
You just rip on some bitch named Heather.
Yeah, he always comes up to me and apologizes after he does it, and it doesn't really bother me like in any way. But it is becoming like I'm more concerned for him and his act. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna be on every show.
Right. He can't just rip into you when he's uncomfortable, right?
Right. Like what's your setup for that if I'm not there? So like there's this guy, right?
There's this guy, and let me tell you about his mustache.
Yeah. And so yeah, I mean I honestly he's always worried that he's like hurt my feelings, and he really never ever has. I take it in good fun, but I'm like, what are you doing here, bud? Like, what are you going to do with this? Yeah,
well, this is the thing. Like, I know that I should be worried about like. I know there's like a couple people who were like really mad at me for like being mean to them a few times. I was like, you'll get over it. Like, you're not children.
Yeah, right.
But and this is the thing. Somebody was like, do you ever like feel bad or apologize? And I was like, no. Never. Not once. It's like Liam apologizing for like ripping into you. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet.
He is really sweet.
I'm going to tear him apart for that.
One of the sweetest human beings, and
he's so nice.
One of the biggest juxtapositions, from real life to like how he carries himself on stage.
Oh, absolutely.
He's people,
the nicest person.
Yeah, for the people at home that have no idea who this person is, I'm sure this is riveting podcasting.
Shit. Just gossiping like we always do.
I don't know. Yeah, that's all this is. I may not be able to release this episode. I do like our gossip times though.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Dave and I sit in the back at Chico's and gossip together.
We kind of do that.
And my favorite thing is like last night I was like, do you want to go gossip? And you're like, do you have like stuff to say?
Yeah, I was like, because I was like, because I was under the impression we were all caught up. And then like you were like, do you want to go gossip? I'm like, oh, she's got a hot something.
Yeah,
like because we were all caught up 5 minutes ago, but she's coming in hot with something like.
It's like our version of girl talk. We just like shit on people in the back.
It's not all shitting, and it's not even always shitting on people like in the scene. Mostly, it's about
our like mutual friends.
Our mutual friends, and then mostly it's you shitting on me for bad decisions I make in regards to women.
To be fair, you tell me about these bad decisions, and then know that I'm going to tell you it's a bad decision, and you're already where you're like, don't be mad at me, but
how would you feel if? But
yeah, I like the other day when you called me out on like doing a similar thing where you were like, do you think that you're just mad because of this? And I was like, oh, fuck you too. Like, is this what it's like to be my friend?
Yeah. That's
judgmental bitch.
I know. I was doing that to Heath last night in the car.
Yeah, you were.
Where I was convinced I was going so hard. I don't know why I decided.
I think you were being a real judgy Judy in the Uber.
I wasn't. That was my whole point. Was I don't think Heath is an asshole. But I know that there are probably people in the world that do think he's an asshole, namely women he's dated.
So I like your thing of being like, I don't think you're an asshole, but I know A, B, C, and X girl who think that you're just the fucking worst.
Right, exactly. That was my point.
But you're not an asshole.
Well,
and you're trying to be nice about
it. I never said that he wasn't an asshole. I said that I don't think he's an asshole.
I like that you two like were first like ripping on me, and then you turned on Heath, and I was like, this is so much better for me.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Well, part of it is like, 'cause I think part of it is because I said this to him in the car, which is. He and I had a very similar situation with relationship wise, and it's so easy to like blame the other person.
Yeah, of course.
And
nobody wants to be the villain in their own story.
Exactly. Yeah, and so I've been trying to like make a concerted effort to acknowledge all the ways that I've been an asshole.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like Heath is there yet.
No, he's not owning the shit yet.
I mean, And so that's what I was trying to
like get across to him.
Yeah.
And then, so here's the thing. I over-own what a like garbage monster I am sometimes. Where like people are like, why didn't that work out? And I was like, because I'm a crazy bitch. Because that's what they'll tell you. Like somebody was like, maybe you should like break that down. And I was like,
right.
Yeah.
Shit, we've been gossiping for 17 minutes
all we
now.
fucking do. You want to talk about my dad?
Yeah, I guess. I was trying to think if there's any other like comedy topics we needed to cover. Because normally I ask like, oh, where'd you start? Like, what was your first open mic? And like, I know I guess the listeners don't, but yeah, you started here in the Fresno scene.
I did. Did Chico's was my first show.
Yeah.
And on the Monday. Yeah. I remember being like really excited because somebody that I knew was going to go up before me. I was like, I know his set's so bad. All I have to do is get one laugh and I win. Again, so stupid competitive. Awful person.
What is it? Do you feel like you're more competitive towards women?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, yes and no. So, yes, in the sense of, like, they're either going to be, like where I made that joke about another open micer who I think is a fantastic comic, but I was like, I knew from the start when I saw her go up and she's really good, I was like, we're either going to be, like, real good friends or I'm going to murder her.
Yeah.
I was like, we're either going to be the worst of enemies or we're going to love each other.
Yeah, that's definitely, yeah. And who was that?
It's Carmen.
Oh, yeah, Carmen.
Carmen. Yeah.
Carmen's so funny.
She's so funny. And, like, the first time I saw her go up, I was like,
yeah.
I'm going to have to kill her.
Yeah.
She's not cool.
She's been doing it a long time, too. Like,
well,
don't beat yourself up too much.
So competitive.
You are very competitive. But, I mean...
I shouldn't be, but I am.
I mean, there's a healthy way to use it, though. I mean, you can use that as a means to push
make me
yourself.
a better comic. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
There's
a reason, like... So the things that I'm good at, I've gotten good at because I am so stupid competitive. Again, where, like, I will push myself to be like, you have to beat that person.
Once you... and it's a weird thing, though. Like, there's a weird... Like, you'll push past that, though. Like, once you have, like, a killer, like, 10 to 12 minutes... Yeah. You kind of like graduate past that and then you'll start just competing with yourself. Like, because it's so often like you look at somebody like a comedian you really, really like admire and you're like, holy shit, when will I ever be that funny? I'll never be that funny. And but the thing is like that comedian
has worked, right? Like they've done this job or like done this for a long time.
And all they've ever tried to do is be funnier than they were before, and so I mean it's good to have people you look up to and it's good to have goalposts, but after a while you realize like, oh, I just have to be a little bit funnier each time, and like that just compounds,
right? And then you're not competing. So, and this is like I totally get that because of my job. I've been there the longest, right? And so it's kind of one of those things where like there's nobody really. There's like maybe one other person like at kind of my level of like being good at this job, and so it comes to this point where I'm like, I don't have anything to prove anymore. I'm just like trying to do my best on those cases. It's
great. Yeah, and you'll eventually feel that way about comedy too. And it helps too because it helps you appreciate comedians too. Because I remember feeling that way. Like I'm gonna be so much funnier than that guy. That guy's not even funny. Like nobody even likes that guy. Like you get very zen about it.
Will you tell me who it is later?
No. I mean it's just a hypothetical anybody. But
fine.
I
was like, who are you competitive with?
I mean, who am I competitive with? Who do I chase? I found myself chasing Trevor a lot. I feel like Trevor, because he's been coming out like less frequently,
right?
And so every time I see him, he's gotten like noticeably better, like when I wasn't there, and or like when I just wasn't in his presence, And so I'm like, I gotta get this. I mean, he's a difficult one because we're very different stylistically. So like I'm much more premise based and he's more he's kind of like one liner.
He's more punchy.
But Trevor is definitely somebody I try in the scene that I try to chase. Who else do I really run after? Am I going after? No, I mean. No, there's just I really keep my eye on Trevor, and then I'm always looking at you guys too. Like I'm like where are they at? Because I'm always.
I know you're like our dad in the scene. Where you're just like, I really liked your new joke, but if you could just tweak this or that. I'm like, oh, thank you, Papa, for helping me with my jokes.
I try not to do it unsolicited.
No, I mean I think everyone kind of appreciates it, right?
Yeah, and I don't do it to anybody I think wouldn't be open to it. I wouldn't just walk up to somebody.
Yeah, well, and I think that's like the nice part about like it being more of a community is that you can like help each other with each other's jokes, right? It doesn't have to be like it's competitive, but it's like at the end of the day we're friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're Tanya Salzer.
I'm Tanya Salzer.
Hi, Tanya Salzer.
Salzer.
Salzer. That's what I said. Salzer.
Salzer. Yeah.
Was I saying Salzer?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Salzer.
Yeah. You're the only person that gets like close enough though to like pronouncing my name correctly on the stage.
Neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tanya Salazar.
Every time.
Every time.
Every time. It's Tanya Salazar. And then somebody, yeah.
Is that like Spanish? What is that?
Salzer? It's Ukrainian.
Ukrainian?
Yeah, that's where my family's from. Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
The worst.
Eastern Bloc. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry it's so hot in here. I have to turn off the AC when we record.
I was prepared. I was like, okay, I'm going to wear my short shorts.
You came dressed for the occasion.
Just for the podcasting occasion.
So I refer to my episodes now. This is going to be occasion number 25.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know that. I actually don't know the order I'm going to release this.
Okay.
So you have a dad.
I have a dad. David Salzer.
What a handsome name.
I know. David.
I like that. Because I knew you didn't grow up in the Valley, right?
No.
You grew up in
San Diego.
In
Poway.
Did he grow up there too?
No. So my dad was actually born in Libya, in Tripoli.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
cool.
And I think he lived there until he was about 2.
What was he doing in Libya?
My grandfather was an Air Force doctor.
Oh.
So they traveled a lot. And they happened to be stationed in Libya at the
Air
time.
Force doctor. Isn't that a mechanic? He fixes people.
Oh, you're so
planes.
funny.
That was dumb. Sorry.
I feel like there should have been like a
I'll put it in post. Okay, so he was born in Libya, like on a base.
Yeah, in Tripoli, Libya. Yeah, and then I think they lived there until they were about like 2, and then my dad moved and they lived in San Mateo.
Oh wow,
which is like kind of South Bay area.
Is there a base there, or is it just?
No, I think this is when my grandpa went into like private practice.
Oh, weird.
Sort of thing. Yeah, because I mean he had like 3 kids at this point, and a wife, and like they had to get their kind of shit together.
Yeah.
Couldn't be traveling with a bunch of youngsters.
And and he had 2 siblings then?
Yes, he's got an older brother and a younger brother.
Oh, he's the middle.
Yeah, and they both live in the Bay Area.
So, okay, so he's still there. Your uncles?
Yeah, my uncles are still there.
Yeah,
and my grandma still lives over there.
Okay. What kind of a kid was your dad? Was he real outgoing? Was he?
So, and this is part of like the thing with my dad is I don't know a huge amount about his childhood, mostly because his grandpa my grandpa was a piece of shit.
Oh.
And like was really like abusive, like physically. And then he had like a really shitty stepbrother for a while. And like my grandma loved her to death, but was kind of going through her own thing where she had like these 2 marriages to alcoholics. She figured out like in her 40s that she was a lesbian. Like she's just like doing a lot of soul searching and not a lot of parenting.
Go. Yeah, I could see that. Like she's this like crazy like new age mom that's just not
like,
there.
There were, and I have to preface this with I told my dad I was doing this podcast, and he was like, "You can talk whatever shit you want."
Fuck,
I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And I was like, "So I'm gonna throw all the shade." But like, so my grandma, like, she again was just like going through her shit. My grandpa was like an alcoholic. Like they were just a kind of a shit show of a family.
Yeah.
So I think my dad was really quiet, and he's still like kind of a quieter guy until like you kind of get to know him, or you get like 2 beers in him, and then he won't shut up. But he's like kind of like, so he's I think he was a quieter kid, and I know he played a lot of sports. Like he's still like goes to rugby games all the time.
Oh yeah.
And like he does because he's a physical therapy assistant, so he like tapes up the guys in the rugby field.
Oh word. Okay.
Yeah, and like
I'm getting ahead of myself.
No,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you got it.
No. Finish.
Okay. Well, when we were kids, so he used to like tape up those guys. Like he'd bring out the table, and like it's like the old Aztecs in San Diego.
Yeah.
And so we'd go, and like as kids, me and my sister would have to like go with him because my mom was like, if you're gonna go to rugby all day, you have to take the girls with you. So we'd go play on the playground, and I just remember like my dad taping up these guys. And one time we'd like come back to ask my dad for something, like when we're back on the field, and this guy's sitting on the table, and he's got this like mouthful of blood, and he smiles at me. He's like, "Hi, sweetheart," and like spit it out, and I was just like, "This is disgusting." But like that was the sort of thing, like growing up, my dad was just like taping up this like bloodied up eyebrow, like sewing it together. He's like, "How's it going, girls?" And I was like, we just wanted to borrow $1 for a water bottle. Thanks, Dad. He's like, "All right, have fun."
That's fun.
Don't kill yourself.
And so, so like he grew up, he's into sports, and then he went to college.
Yeah, and he has a master's degree, actually.
In what?
In athletic medicine.
Wow, he really is all in.
I didn't even know that my dad had a master's degree until like a couple years ago. I was like, my dad has a master's? Wow, good for him.
Yeah.
Again, we're like, he's just kind of a quiet guy.
Yeah.
And like, he's got a lot to say when you talk to him, and he's so funny. Like, I totally get my sense of humor from my dad.
Yeah.
But it's kind of one of those things where like, he's hard to like, you have to like really pry information out of him.
Sure.
So.
At what point in all of that did he meet your mom?
Oh, so they worked at Costco together.
Oh, that's cute.
Because, he went to SDSU for his master's, and my mom had, I think she was still working on her bachelor's, or she was done by that point. But so they worked at Costco together. And my mom still actually works for Costco. But they met, and it's kind of funny because it's one of those things where, like now, if they had met the way they met, my mom would absolutely have been, like, in HR, like, in their office, they'd be like, Julie, you cannot fucking do that. Like, so apparently, my mom used to, like, break dress code all the time. And she would, like, wear short shorts and, like, little wife beater tank tops to work all the time. And I was like, style icon. But
and her orange high vis vest, just killing it as she's wrangling carts
with her like bangs. And she has like the bangs that she still sometimes has. And I'm like, Mom, she's like, so gotcha.
Oversized scrunchie and
and like this is the thing where I'm like, she's just that like, she still has like the same kind of style where she wears like jeans and like a t-shirt, and she's like, done. But apparently at work, because my dad was like in the master's program for athletic medicine, so he worked out all the time, right?
Yeah.
She like went up to him and she was like, is all you do outside of work out? And he was like, yeah, that's what I do in my free time. And she's like, oh. And like, then they started going on dates.
Oh, hey, go your mom.
My mom sexually harassed him at work, so he asked around.
I mean, that's, in all fairness to your dad, because he seems like he was kind of like a soft-spoken hunk.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that makes perfect sense. It's like if the woman's making the signals that strong.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the best a guy like your dad could hope for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is the thing. Like, so I hear these stories about the two of them, and I'm like, oh my God, we are so alike. This is so bad. I'm turning into my mom.
Oh, that's funny. I forgot to ask too. How did he end up in San Diego? Did he go down there for school?
He went to SDSU for his master's.
Oh, got it. So that's when he moved from the Bay Area.
Yeah. There's actually this really funny picture of him like graduating for his master's wearing Converse.
Oh, yeah.
And his like graduation gown.
That's cute.
And it's like, it was pretty funny though, because my like grandma apparently had been like, you like need to wear better shoes. And he was like, no, I like these ones.
Oh, good for your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's cool. And so at what point? Okay, so then they go on a few dates, and then they get. How long is it before they get married?
Well, actually, so they kind of did it a little bit backwards.
Okay.
So, and to be fair, when my dad met my mom, she was like 27 and like had a house and a couple cars and like had her life totally together.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Shocking. I don't even know how I came from that woman.
Because this is also San Diego, where it's expensive.
Yeah.
Was Costco paying her that one?
I guess so. I mean, that's the thing I will say. Like, Costco has really taken care of my family over the years. Like, I have the best health insurance because I'm still on my mom's health insurance.
Oh, yeah, because you're not 26 yet.
No, I'm 25. Yeah, I was like, I've got one more year of this. I got to get all my shit done.
Yeah, almost knocked my mic over. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But so they actually had my sister and then me and then got married when I was 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
At a family reunion.
You've got a funny story that you've told for me before, and I want you to tell for the people about how you and your sister got your names.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So my mom really loves the movie Dr. Zhivago, which you've seen it. If you've seen it, it's the most depressing Russian film. And in
What's it called again? Dr.
Zhivago.
Dr. Zhivago.
It's like this like classic film. Mm-hmm. It's set in like communism, like just about pre-communism Russia.
And it's like revolution.
Yeah. So depressing, right? It's all cold winter and fur coats and sadness. And in it, they have a daughter that they like hunt down, and her name is Tanya. And my mom thought it was Natasha. So my sister is Natasha. They then figured out that it was wrong and gave me the name Tanya. And the worst part is, I was like, oh, so you're going to name our brother came along later, like after another character in the movie, right? Mom was like, no, he's Jake. I was like, fuck you guys. He gets the easy name.
We named him after Jake the Snake. Your father picked that one.
I actually did pick the name.
Well, that's fun. I didn't realize. I guess I forgot that you have a brother.
Yeah, he's 9 years younger than me.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's like about to turn. He's turning 16 in like a couple weeks. Yeah, it's wild.
How old's your dad?
50 something.
Yeah.
Not a good
about right.
Yeah. He's in his 50s.
Yeah.
He's in his 50s.
Yeah. So what was what was like your relationship with him like growing up?
So growing up, we weren't very close. And it was kind of one of those things where my dad has always been the kind of person to like show his like love and affection through more of like the action things than like words.
Sure.
And my mom was always more of like a words person.
Yeah.
And so like the difference is like the times my dad and I would interact, I was usually in trouble. So I was like, it was like, and even now, like there are times where like I'll come home and I'm 25, but I'll be out with friends and I'll come back and it'll be like midnight. And my dad is like sitting on the couch, watching TV, falling asleep because he's waiting for me to come home. And I'm like, that's so nice.
That's pretty sweet.
Please go to bed.
Yeah.
He's like, I just wanted to make sure you got home safe.
Aww.
Or like the worst part is like, I kept calling him out on it. And I was like, Dad, you don't have to wait up for me. He's like, no waiting up for you. No waiting up for you. I was like, bullshit. We both know you don't sit on the couch till midnight.
Was there any difference in the relationship he had with you versus the relationship he had with your sister?
Sort of. Not too much, but it's kind of one of those things where our relationship is really different now.
Oh,
like we're actually like really good, like we're good friends now.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's kind of one of those things like I did my therapy, he did his therapy, like we're all good people now.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like we used to fight so badly that like we actually went to therapy together, like in
Really?
like family therapy.
Oh, wow.
And that made our relationship almost worse.
Oh, so you and your dad specifically?
Yeah,
would
yeah.
fight?
Like we had like a mediator. Like our
Wow.
therapist was like our mediator because we would just tear into each other.
What were some of your hang-ups with each other? Like, what were you guys fighting about?
Oh, it was just things like normal like kid shit where I was like angsty and mean.
Yeah.
And like just going through the things I was going through, right? So like my parents like didn't always have the happiest of marriages.
Sure.
And like now they're really good and they're like traveling together and I was like, oh, the secret is travel.
Yeah, and not having children in the house.
Yeah, or only one, or not
Yeah.
having like mean children in the house.
Yeah.
Because I will admit, I was kind of a shitty kid, like real shitty in the way that like I definitely did like a lot of like I was a monster at home, but then like at school, at family events, right, perfect angel, and I was like, I probably made my parents feel so fucking crazy.
Right.
We're like, let me tell you about this shit she just pulled at the house, and I was like, I never do anything wrong. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you're the
I never
worst.
do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Somebody like recently called me out on like being emotionally manipulative, and I was like, I've learned it from an early age.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel like you picked up on it, or did you just figured it out? How to that ability to manipulate?
Oh, I mean, some of it is like a learned skill, and then a lot of it, I think, because my sister is like the nicest person in the world, but she's also like the nicest person in the world. Like you can walk all over her. And growing up, I absolutely took advantage of that all the time.
Sure. Yeah.
And so it's kind of one of those things where like now we're like we're good, and like again, I've done my therapy where I'm like, don't be a bad person, Tanya.
Yeah, right.
But like I'll catch myself doing things and I'm like, oh, that was a shitty move.
Yeah.
That wasn't a nice thing to do.
So your sister was like this like parable for you, like how not to.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be that nice because look at what I'm doing to her.
Yeah. Like,
look at what I'm getting away with.
My mom used to call me her black-hearted child because I was the one that was just like that would just tear into my sister for fucking nothing.
Oh, really?
And then I'd get whatever I wanted. Like I was so awful. I was
Yeah.
like, my poor parents.
Yeah.
I was like, my mom was like, we were just really happy that, you know, you moved to Fresno and got better and you're a totally different person now.
Yeah.
But like, again, where I was like, I'm really sorry that I was a real shitty kid.
Yeah. And you still have a weird thing with your sister.
Yeah.
You kind of clench up. She's so nice. She's so nice. And you're making a face at me as I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and she is. She's so nice. But I think, so the things that I don't like about myself, I see in her like kind of a little more.
Yeah.
And like I'm sure she has the same thing with me, right? Where there's like the things that bother me about like our family or like our family traits. I see like magnified in her, and it just like it's like nails on a chalkboard where I'm just like, I just want to take you outside and tell you can't do that. Like some of the things like our mom is the kind of person to not hold her tongue about anything, which, and I see my sister kind of doing that, where she doesn't like think through the things that she says sometimes, and I'm like, you can't say that to people,
right?
Like you can't just ask someone if they're gay. Like you can't do that, Tanya.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
We were like out at a bar and she met this guy. We were like hanging out. This guy's like, he's like, oh yeah, I just like moved here from San Francisco. She's like, San Francisco? Are you gay? And I was like, you can't just say that.
And you were at a bar though. Was she drinking? Was she?
I don't even know if she was drinking. She doesn't really drink. But like,
I'm not here to like totally defend your sister.
I know you're always like her defender when I'm like shitting on Tasha, and you're like, well, she's a really nice person.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Dave. She's like, I haven't met any of your family.
Yeah, I know. My older brother's bipolar and lives in Merced and collects Star Wars action figures. And my younger brother's dead. So, you know, I don't know.
Can't make fun of your family.
Yeah, you'll probably never meet these people. Very intentionally so. So, okay. Let's move on from your sister because we're going to a dark place.
We're going to a weird family thing. Oh, man. Yeah. My family.
And so, like, what, I mean, did your dad have any, like, hobbies? Like, was he, like, into fishing? Or, I mean,
he did rugby and he works out.
He's still to this day?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. I know, right? Just want to kill him. But it's like, he doesn't have a ton of hobbies in, like, that sense. He does a lot of, like, reading. He's really smart.
Yeah.
And, like, the thing that drives me up the wall sometimes with my dad is he's so stupid smart, but he's so condescending sometimes.
Is he really? That's
yeah.
funny.
I remember like when like I was like 13, and again we were like, I get my competitive nature from my parents, and they're really competitive, and we're all really competitive with each other.
Yeah.
And you can see that when we all talk because we all shout over each other. Mm-hmm. But I just remember one time we were in the car and we were like on this road trip, and like Queen came on, and I like knew the song, and he was like, "Oh yeah, how did Freddie Mercury die, Tanya?" And my I'm like, because he's like, "Oh, you know all your facts about Queen," and my sister goes, "Mercury poisoning," and I was like, "AIDS, Dad, he died of AIDS." There's just the silence in the car, and he was like, "That's right."
Yeah, that's a weird thing to want to get one up on your kids, though.
Yeah.
You know, like, I really stumped him with that AIDS question.
Yeah, the AIDS question. It's like, he died of AIDS, Dad.
Yeah. That's okay. So he worked out, played rugby. I mean, he wasn't.
He's like, he reads a lot, a lot.
Is is it all related to the profession, or does he read?
A lot of it is related to his profession. Like he knows so much about like the human body, like the anatomy and all these things. And it's like, it's really cool sometimes and especially like, cause I played like sports in high school and I have like sprained my ankle a number of times. Yeah. And then my dad was always like, "Oh, just tape this up and you just put this here and then you're all good and like everything's fixed." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, Dad."
Yeah, way to go,
It's like helpful to have.
Yeah.
Or like things like I was like, "Oh, like this and this and this," and he was like, "Oh, you should really do this and that and drink more water." Thanks, Dad. He's like, "I know you're not drinking water."
What is so? He's in sports medicine. So does that means he's on like some kind of a retainer with a team of something?
He is a physical therapy assistant.
Oh, got it.
So he works at a physical therapy clinic.
Got it.
So like, and that's another thing. Like growing up, like we would sometimes go to work with my dad. And like, he's just like working on these like old ladies with like their different pains, like different like athletes, but they have like at one clinic, because he works at two different clinics, and one of them has more athletes and one of them has more old people.
Oh, okay. And
he was just like talking about like the difference between like the two of them. And I remember like seeing him working on like these like this old woman. She was like, "My back hurts," and blah blah blah. And he was like, "Well, it's not gonna get better. It's only gonna get worse. Like you're just gonna get older." Right. And he's like making this joke with her, and she's like not laughing. Yeah. And I was like, "This is my dad. We're the same person."
Oh, that's funny. Well, this is a part of the show where I ask for a dadictote.
You want to hear a dad? I spent all day yesterday trying to think of a dadictote, and I was like, what one am I going to tell? I think...
Oh, go ahead.
I think this one. We played soccer growing up, but my sister and I were not, like, athletically gifted kids, which I think was really hard for my dad, like, being the athletic guy that he is. Yeah. Having, like, two chubby girls who were like, "I don't like running." So he used to bribe us with, like, "If you run the whole soccer game, I'll take you to Taco Bell." Because our parents never bought us fast food. Fucking ever. Like, it was the point where, like, I would go to friends' houses and I was like, "You have the the regular Cheerios, the Honey Nut, not just the plain ones. Oh my God. Like, our parents are like weird, healthy people.
Yeah, yeah. And you didn't watch TV.
No, yeah. And like, we have a compost, which is like the craziest thing to all my friends. It's like, what do you mean you just don't have a compost?
I gotta go turn the compost.
Yeah, right. I gotta go water the compost or else it won't saturate through. But so my dad was like running up and down the field with me. We were like the soccer game, just yelling, "Chalupas, Tanya! Remember the chalupas!" And I was like, and there's a reason I have an unhealthy relationship with food.
That's fair.
But yeah. I just remember one time my coach came up to me and she was like, "Do you want me to tell your dad? Like, is he making you uncomfortable?" And I was like, "No, it's fine." And so then after that, my dad was the dad that like yelled chalupas from the sideline for like a good 6 months while I played soccer.
Oh, jeez. That's so funny. Yeah, that was a weird, like, profound revelation. I mean, I said it last night, but like you and I have had a million conversations, and I only realized last night that we have never talked about TV.
Yeah.
Like, we've never talked about like what shows we're watching or...
And, like, I feel bad because I feel like people always ask me, like, "Oh, did you see that movie?" Or blah, blah, blah. Or, like, that's just a classic. And I was like, I haven't seen it.
I realized our entire relationship exists on spite. Like, that is the engine of our friendship.
That is the engine of my being.
Yeah, like, literally everybody else in my life, I have some common interest in. Like, and with you, it's literally nothing. It's like
hating other people. That's the thing we have in common. Is how petty we are.
We don't like any of the same movies. I don't even know if you read books.
I read. I can read. Thank you.
I know you work with children and you do comedy. Like, that's literally...
Those are the things that you know about
and
me.
like, none of those things aside from the comedy.
Yeah. No, yeah, our entire friendship is based on spite.
Yeah.
100%.
That is wild.
I mean, it's kind of why you're one of my favorite people.
I think so. Like, because we have no easy out for conversation.
No.
Like, I can't be like, "Oh, did you watch that thing on
Yeah.
Netflix?"
I think that's like the beauty of our friendship, though, right? Is we like can't go back to those like safe zones of being like, "Oh, did you watch that one show?" Like, what a wild time. We're always like, "Let's talk. Let's talk about everything."
Yeah, like the only way to move the conversation forward is by revealing some deep, dark secret you haven't told anybody else.
Do you want to hear about this one time? Yeah. Oh boy.
That's funny. Yeah. Do you feel like you said everything you wanted to say?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Was there anything like? Is there any stone left unturned? Because I want you to feel like you got the most out of your Sad
No,
Dad
absolutely. I just want to say because this will probably be posted to Facebook where my dad will see.
Yeah.
Dad, I love you. I'm sorry I shit on you in this podcast.
Yeah.
I love you, Dad.
In all fairness, I came away from it thinking I liking your dad a little more than you.
Oh, I love my dad. I love my dad. He's so fun. Like, we're best friends now.
I think you might be the villain in this story.
I am the villain in this story. You know, the worst part is I'm like, my dad and I are so tight now. Yeah. And then I was like, if you had asked me to do this podcast like 3 years ago, it'd be a very different story, right? I would absolutely be the villain, 100%.
That's so funny. Tanya, that was fun.
Thanks. I had a lot of fun.
Thank you for coming on.
Of
and
course.
Like, driving out here and being all sweaty with me in my house. Thanks again.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're the best.
You're welcome.
And we're back. Tanya Salzer. She told me I've been saying her last name wrong. Salzer. Tanya Salzer, everybody. Salzer. Gotta practice that. Yeah, so she's fun. I probably won't link her social media info. I forgot to ask her that at the end of the episode, but I think the last thing Tanya wants is anybody finding her. She's so... she's the worst, but I love her. And so, yeah, but you can follow me. Any bit of following you want to do of Tanya's, you can follow me. Hey, I was going to ask you guys, you can email me or text message me if you have my number or Facebook me. I want to start a Sad Dad group, like on social media. And I guess I could do it on Facebook, but I don't know. Facebook's kind of lame, isn't it? Don't you think? I mean, I'll do it. I've already had a bunch of people hit me up about starting a Sad Dad group on Facebook, but man, I want to do something cooler. Like, what if we started a subreddit? Like a Sad Dad subreddit? No? I don't know. Let me know. I don't really know of any other place you could do groups, though, that everybody has access to. And I know some people don't really like Reddits, and everybody has a Facebook for now, at least. So, I don't know. Let me know. If you guys are down for a Facebook group, cool. If some of you guys out there want to do a subreddit, I can moderate it. It would be so fun. We can upvote each other. Huh? Yeah? All right. Yeah, I guess there's a bit of a bias on my part here, but yeah, I mean, I guess we could do both. It's just a lot of work. I don't know. What else am I doing? May as well. If you're in the Fresno area, come out to DeChico's in Old Town Clovis this Friday and Saturday. I'll be hosting a couple of cool shows. We've got Eric Schwartz headlining. Really, really funny guy. Super talented too. Like he's like a promotion machine. Like this guy is a wizard. He sent a video to Danny and I to use as promotion for the upcoming shows, and it's this like rap video he did of about Fresno, and it's actually really good. And I know that sounds lame, like, oh, he did a Fresno rap. Like, I get it, but it's really funny, and the production value is insane. He's got some like crazy green screen action going, and Eric is just such a pro, such a goddamn wizard at marketing and promoting himself. So super funny dude. If you guys can come out to that, you can say hi to me. I'll be there hosting. So do that. And also, if you're in the Fresno area, we have the Central Valley Comedy Competition happening. I'm not competing because we're hosting 2 of the events, and I just felt like that'd be a weird conflict of interest if I ended up doing well, and then they're like, well, this guy, I don't know. I've developed this weird, like, Final Destination sense of drama after being in comedy, you know, like I can just kind of like see these things like flash forward, and I can just see all the impending drama that would happen if something like that happened. And it's not just this comedy competition, it's like everything. It's like, oh, do I feel like dealing with this shitstorm when people are refusing to realize that I'm speaking in hyperbole? I don't know. It's just anyway, I digress. So yeah. Dadictotes, saddadpodcast@gmail.com. Send those my way. And then I know I've been talking about it for a long time. I did finally sit down with my partner, Danny Minch, and we recorded a Sad Dad episode. I'm going to release that. It's pretty good. And I cried like 3 times, and he cried like 3 times. And, but I think I want to release it. Like, I want to make it a special, like maybe episode 25. What is that, like the styrofoam anniversary? I don't know what the 25 is. Or maybe episode 30. Just kind of like a rounded number. So, yeah. All right. Okay, guys. Well, I hope you've enjoyed these new mic stands that I've been talking to you through. Because I have. I just like looking at it. I'm touching it right now. I'm touching it with my hand. I'm going to touch it with my mouth. No, I'm not going to touch it with my mouth. That'd be weird. Oh man. Again, I swear to God, I'm going to wrap this thing up, but, the new Spider-Man game, have you guys seen this? The new Spider-Man game is coming out on Friday. I feel like it's really going to cut into my productivity. It looks so good. I want it. Well, anyway, rate and review on iTunes, guys, and if you want to just say hi, you can do that, again, via saddadpodcast@gmail.com. Hit me up about whether we want to start a Facebook group, a subreddit, or both. We can get way weirder. We can get way weirder in the subreddit. I'm just saying, because all our moms aren't going to be there being like, oh, what are you guys doing? Because the first person that's going to, if I start a Facebook group for Sad Dad, you know who the first person that's going to follow it is? My mom. Then what I'm going to say, well, she listens to the podcast every now and then. Oh, she came to my show on Saturday. My mom and dad and two of their friends came out. And it's like the fourth time I've performed in front of my parents. And the first time went awful. It was terrible. Like I was like, I couldn't get it out of my head that my parents were looking at me while I was performing. The second time I did better. I just kind of ignored them the first half, but then the second half of my set that I was doing that night, I was like, oh my God, that's my mom. And like, that's my dad. And then the third time around, I just figured it out, which is just ignore them. Just pretend if you have to look at them, just pretend you don't know who they are. Don't make eye contact. So I ended up having a pretty good set in front of my folks on Saturday when I performed and they were at the show. And at some point, it got acknowledged at the show that they were my parents. It got pointed out by somebody. And then afterwards, there was this guy that came up to me, and he was like, "Man, is that weird performing in front of your parents? Like, do you find yourself like not wanting to say certain things?" And I'll be honest, you know what's worse than telling a dick joke in front of your mom? Bombing in front of your mom. So I'd rather tell dick jokes and do well than bomb in front of my parents. Oh, that's the worst. So anyway, guys, you've been real sports for listening to this rambling thing that I'm doing right now. I just got a text message. Everything's fine. And let's wrap this thing up. So I'll see you guys next week. I think I've got a really good podcast recorded with a guy named Jacob Trimmer. I might release that next week. I've also got coming up and staying with me next week, 3 super fun people that I want to do episodes with all 3 of them. Asan Ahmad, Derek Poston, and Sam Lopez. Asan and Derek have an amazing podcast called Spoil the Beans. And Asan has never seen... he has seen 0 movies. And their entire podcast is Derek watching a movie that he loves, because Derek has seen every movie. And the podcast is Derek explaining the plot of the movie to Asan. And it's so funny. It just works so well. So check out their podcast if you're looking for something else to listen to. That's Spoil the Beans. It's on iTunes and Stitcher and all the other places. So, okay, guys, this is my 4th goodbye to you. I swear it's for realsies. I'll catch you next week, and I promise I'll have a real fun guest waiting for you. Adios.